Hey everybody, I'm Sean. Welcome to another episode of Angling Spiders. Welcome back everybody. On today's episode, I got something I am really excited about. So before I get to showing you the product, one of the things I like to do is search the internet to see if there's anything new and innovative out there. And when I saw this product, I had to reach out to the company and ask them if I could do a review. So that's exactly what I did. I reached out, contacted the owners, and they were nice enough to send me some of their products so that I could do a review. Let me tell you, this is the coolest thing I've seen in a while. So what am I talking about? I am talking about the booby trap from Lawless Lures. Now, I'm guessing that some of you haven't even heard of this thing, which is great that I get to showcase it here. This is, from what I can tell, a relatively new lure company. They got a great looking website. I'm going to put a link to that below. So before I unbox this thing, let me just tell you what is in the box. So what you get in this is a complete setup, and you get 9 soft plastics and 3 specialized hooks that go along with those soft plastics that make this work. The lures in here are called the Rogue, the Outlaw, and the Ladron. I will show you all of those. For those of you who are wondering, what the heck is this thing that I'm talking about? If you've seen the Overiew rig and you've seen the action that gives a worm, this will give you some kind of an idea. This is an innovative way to make a bait fish look like it is dying, and super easy to rig, much easier to rig than the Overiew rig. And because it's a fish instead of a worm, I think it's more applicable to multiple species that perhaps wouldn't trigger on soft plastic worms. So that's what's in here. Let me open this up and show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so I've got it open up. First and foremost, there's a sticker from Lawless Lures, which is really cool, so I can put that on the tackle box, as you all know. The other thing that comes in the box is this little tray that's got the soft plastics and those specialized hooks. As I said before, the 3 lures are the Rogue, the Outlaw, and the Ladron. And that's just the same, basically the same pattern, but in multiple colors. So the first one we've got here is almost a black color with some red and silver flake in it. And you can see the pattern on the other side. Next one is a black on top and a kind of white silver on the bottom. And again, there's some red and silver flake on the top of that one. That one looks very much like a minnow or a shad pattern. That's great. Love that one. And then the last one is this green and gold, which is more like a bass, and it's got some silver, red, and black flake in it. Now, what else is special about these lures? If I take this one, you're going to see something very different on here, so let me show you. First and foremost, there is a plastic insert in the tail, and that is for the line to go through, and it's in there very good. Next, there's also this split in the tail, and I'll show you what that's for in a second. And then there is this gill plate that flares out on one side only, and there's a reason for that. That's for installation of the specialized hooks. So I'm going to show you how this whole thing is rigged up in a second. Lastly, the other piece that's in here are these specialized hooks that have a T-bar on them. And that's a very important piece, and it's unique to these booby trap Lawless Lures, and it's part of how you rig it. So let me get to that next, because it'll all make sense when I rig up one of these things. And by the way, the instructions for how you rig them is on the box, which makes that really easy. You can follow along. And lastly, before I go on to showing you how it's rigged, just a shout out, these are made in the USA, so this is an American product, if that matters to some of you. So you can show your support, and also means that you can pick these up relatively easy in the United States. All right, let's get to rigging one of these things. Okay, so what I've done is I've switched over here to close-up mode so you can see me rigging one of these up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this middle one here and also one of these J-hooks, and I am going to show you how this is rigged. All right, so we've got our soft plastic and our T-bar hook, and the instructions are, the first thing you're supposed to do is take the side with this gill flare and put this T-bar through this, out through the mouth of the fish. So you're actually supposed to just push it through. This might be easier if you used a needle and put a hole through there first, but it says you should be able to just push it through. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the instructions. I got it pretty close, but I didn't get it quite centered. Now you'll see that that T-bar in there stops at that gill plate, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. So now you've got that hook sticking out of the head like that, right behind the gill plate, and it's set. So the next thing you got to do is run your line. All right, so let's put the line through this thing. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use this spool of P-line fluoro. So what you want to do when you're rigging this thing is pass the line, and I hope that line's showing up. It's actually almost probably really hard to see on the camera. But what you want to do is pass your line through the tail, through this circular grommet here in the tail, and pass that through that. So we've got the line passing through the tail there. Move it back and forth just so you can see it. We've come from the top down, and then we're going to pass this line through the hook at the front and tie it on. And it's literally that simple. Once we tie this on, this thing is rigged. All right, now that we've got this lure rigged properly, let's show you why I'm so excited about this thing. So clearly you've got your hook here on the side and you're ready to toss this thing out in the water. And basically what you do is toss this thing out there and let it sit a little bit, and then you start twitching it. And this is why I'm so excited about the twitching action on this. So if you look at this and you just give it a few jerks with your rod while it's in the water, basically what this thing looks like is a dying bait fish. This is pretty fantastic. And the other thing I really like about this is that when a fish does trigger a strike, it's going to hit that hook. And if it pulls hard enough, this is going to slide right out of the end of that soft plastic, and it's going to protect that soft plastic. That soft plastic's just going to ride up your line, but the fish is going to be only pulling on the hook. And the way this is designed, it's almost like a circle hook, so I think your hook sets on this are going to be pretty tremendous. The action on this thing is superb, and you don't have to do anything because Lawless Lures has already designed the whole system into the lure to make it easy for you to rig. All right, so what I've decided, you guys, is I'm going to try to rig up one of these booby traps from Lawless Lures. Now, the only challenge with this is, in order for it to work effectively, I got to fish without a leader, and I'm going to pray that a giant pike doesn't come and bust this because I don't have a leader on. But all right, I will show you that in a second. And exactly what I worried about, guys. That was a pike. Really effective. I can tell you that on my first cast of that Lawless lure, I had 3 strikes. And so now I'm gonna have to figure out how to hook up a different leader system so that doesn't happen. You guys, this is really cool. So I just picked up a fish here, but not only is this cool because I got a fish, but it's cool because this is the first fish that I've ever caught on a booby trap Lawless lure. Look at that. All right, I got the fish off. We'll get her off the grips here. There we go. Little tiny guy, gone. That's what I'm using. This is the booby trap from Lawless Lures. Pretty sure that this was going to work for pike. One of the issues is how I was going to rig it, and so I'm using 30-pound mono as a leader because otherwise they bit through it. And in fact, I did try to use one of these earlier in the year without this 30-pound mono leader on here, just my normal line, and of course the pike bit through the line almost instantly. So I had to come up with a new way, and the easiest way to do that was to use 30-pound mono. So there we go. Check this out, you guys. Very next cast with the Lawless lure. I just had another one. Just had another one. You guys want to see that action in the water? Straight. Tug it, it closes. Tug it, it closes, just like a dying fish. There we go. Got one. Oh, I think I lost him. Yeah, I lost him right there. Oh, he's still following it. He followed it right up to the kayak here. What I really like about this thing is I can fish in really shallow water. It's like a natural presentation near the top. I'm only in 1.5 to 2 feet of water here. Guys, my solution didn't work. So, once again, pike bit through my 30-pound test. So that solution didn't work. The Lawless lures, fantastic. Pike after pike after pike. I lost a bunch. I did catch one, but in the end, I gotta find a way to rig them up better so that I can use them for pike. These things would be amazing for walleye. They'd be amazing for bass. But pike in their teeth, you gotta find a way to protect that lure, and I just haven't figured it out yet. I think the answer is I gotta custom wire rig them. I think they'll continue to maintain the action that they have, but it's the only way I'm gonna be able to do it, because they just bust them off too easy if they're online. So really unfortunate, because the second I saw those things as a product, oh, look at that while I'm talking. The second I saw those things as a product, I knew they were gonna work. And I just have to figure out a way to rig them properly. So there will be more to come on the testing and rigging of the Lawless lures.